How much did you withdraw?
$24,000.
$24,000. Okay. First off, congratulations. How long did it take you to make your 24,000?
I would say about 4.5 weeks.
Okay. Not a bad way to be, huh? 24,000 in 4.5 weeks. A lot of people don't make that in a year. How
And
long?
I don't trade. I don't trade every day. I have your 1 hour management as it is. I don't touch it. I take the trade, I close the thing, I go away.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you. That's so awesome. Congratulations. How long have you been trading?
About 6 years, but I didn't really find consistency until I met you. You know, everybody else selling, trading on a 5 minute, 1 minute time frame, which just beats you around.
Yes.
But when you sold this 1 hour management, I know that 1 hour structures, they are more valid than lower time frame. So I just take the noise out. So it put some confidence in me. I said, you know what? I'm up $3,000 this morning. That's less than an hour, 30 minutes. Let me just close it out. Close it out. I'm done for the day.
So what are you going to do with your 24,000?
Okay. So I'm going to split it
Okay.
into different accounts.
Okay, you're going to pay yourself a little bit, so you're going to keep some, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm taking my wife to Cabo.
Okay, there you go. I am so happy for you.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel where we hopefully get a chance to show you that trading is as easy as you make it on yourself and just bring the whole world of investing and compounding your money down to a realistic level that shows you it can be done. Whether you're doing stocks, Forex, futures, or even binary options, a lot of these same rules all still apply. So of course, before we go any further, I have to do the disclaimer that says everything we discuss on this is not legal or financial advice of any kind. You are 100% in charge of your own accounts, the own decisions you make, and every single thing that you're doing inside of your financial portfolio. Obviously, it does get a little bit helpful to have somebody kind of by your side and just walking you through some of the processes. So everything we do is recorded. That's kind of more for live stuff, and you guys get all that. I do a lot of high risk, high reward stuff. You can follow similar steps with safer, lower risk, lower reward trading styles and be just as profitable. Well, maybe not just as profitable, but definitely profitable. Today, actually, what we're going to do before we go any further is I'm going to point this out right here. We're about maybe a month out since our last Tuesday night call. Don't quote me. We've had a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes company-wise and family stuff. So what we're going to do is we've got several reasons why we're not going to continue on the simplicity system that we were using before. So today, we're going to go through and look at that experiment and say, how did this actually do in real time? Because the whole idea with doing that live class was to show you that no matter the system, if you apply some decent rules, you can be profitable over a period of time. Regardless of all the strategies and all the nonsensory out there all over YouTube trying to get you to jump another ship and try another method and another strategy and another, broker and all this other stuff. The reality is if you apply pretty close to the majority of strategies, apply the strategy, apply reasonable management that actually matches that strategy, you have the potential to be profitable. So today we're going to announce something new that we're going to be doing on Tuesday nights. But before we do that, let's go take a look at how we actually did. And then, of course, without fail, we are going to go over a couple of possible entries that I hope you're following along with in your demo accounts. Okay, so here we are at Simplicity from 2022. If you can see my mouse moving, we really didn't start keeping track to that last quarter or so of the year. And of course, we've got my FX book and Trading Stratogram and I think FX Blue books and all that other good stuff. But the idea was just to show you guys in a really practical way of how many pips, what kind of profitability, what kind of risk and reward, and what it really looks like in the day-to-day to show you that it's possible, right? That's really it. So how did it do overall? For the end of 2022, for that last quarter, we averaged about 5,000 pips. Not bad. Not a lot of indices in that. Not a lot of really expensive pairs, if you will. We averaged about an 81%, and that's not too shabby for a swing trading system like this. Our average risk to reward, or more accurately, win to loss ratio was a 1.84 to 1. Again, not bad. And that's our average win to loss in pips. And there you go. That was 2022. In 2023, we started this system in the second week of January. We've done it for a couple of weeks now, and we've been asked by the creator that we're going to not be really pushing that system anymore. I don't know that they're going to keep using it the same or what the whole situation is there. I just know that I still want to provide that public content and still provide you with something. I think that YouTube is a great tool. I also think that it's a great place to get lost in the sauce. So with that said, this is what we were able to accomplish. Obviously, the reason why this is so much higher is we had a couple of indices in here, and that's really what took the cake. I mean, obviously, those are huge. This one right here is not worth as much dollar for dollar, but obviously a lot more pips in terms of pip count. So a lot more indices is how we got to this number. Average win rate to loss rate, that is huge. Again, mostly it's going to be those indices that are going to really just completely demolish that. But still, not a huge accuracy. Something to kind of point out. That is a really, really, really low accuracy. That's okay. Was it overall profitable though? Well, that's, again, kind of leans back into the whole fact that the indices are worth more and moved more. But yes, overall, even with the 68% win rate thus far on that system, we've showed it's technically profitable. What we're going to be doing moving forward is we're going to do a public 4-hour experiment. And the whole concept, and I went back and forth with my team of, I love trading, I love people, don't love a whole bunch of like super tailored messages. I'm not that kind of person, although I will work on it. Is I want to help people trade, right? And if I can do that, then we're in a good place. So we're going to call this our 4-hour public experiment. And what I'm going to be doing with you guys is doing the exact same thing, the exact same system, bigger time frame granted, that we have used to get over 800,000 pips since the beginning of this. I think that was in 2021. 800,000 pips. And to give you an idea of what that's worth dollar for dollar, mind you, most of these are indices. That's worth over $878,000 for most of the brokers that we're using. Most of the brokers we're using, this is about going to be the average. That does vary from broker to broker and value to value, based off of what you're doing, where you're at, and et cetera, so forth. But across the board, this is the closest number to accurate unless you're using the very, very rare micro lots kind of thing. That's a lot of money, right? In 2023, this is what we've been able to accomplish thus far. This is week 20 now that we're on currently. We've had some really small weeks, actually. We had our first ever losing week. And the month before that, I think we had our biggest month ever, right? That all kind of comes with the territory. And that's really all I'm trying to show people, is that it's not a single strategy or a single 100% anything. That's not what trading is. My hope is to show people that trading is literally as easy as you make it on yourself. And it's really just going to come down to sticking with one strategy. Doesn't have to be mine. Can be anyone that your eyes see best. Applying reasonable management that actually works on the strategy you're using, right? And that's it. Continue to kind of improve from there, build from there, and stick with it long enough to get good at it. I think it was Bruce Lee who said he didn't practice 10,000 different kicks. He practiced one kick 10,000 different times. And that's what made him the best in his field, right? That's the kind of message that I'm really hoping to get across. Of course, if you're interested in working with me on this kind of stuff, we do this on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. Usually, all the 100% of the time on Zoom. There is a link in the link tree, and for the first 100 people that come into that new membership, at least prior to the website, I'm going to be giving them a free EA as well. It's going to be kind of a baby version, if you will, a really, really baby version of the bigger, all-around, all-inclusive, second-to-none EA that I'm going to have within my company. So there's that as well. If you want to work with me one-on-one, that's where you're going to be able to do that. That's all in the link tree. But for the public, I've got this blank sheet, so let's tell you what it's going to be. I have predefined everything we need to know, so I don't get to delete this. This is recorded. This is public. Can't go back. You can save it to your desktops, do whatever you need to do, screenshot it, and say, wait, did this happen, right? By all means, you do you. But all the time, I'm going to be looking for a couple of entries, probably 2 from what my team and I had discussed, maybe more because, once I'm on my charts, I'm on my charts, right? But either way, 2 trades at least once every 2 weeks. We might do once a week, depending on how long these take to play out. I personally have never used this system on the 4-hour time frame, but to do live YouTubes that people might see in a day or two, I think the 4 hour is going to be a lot more conducive than the 1 hour, number one. Number 2, we actually recently had a guy in our group, in our community, who has an incredible story, been trading for a long time, had never been profitable before, at least not as far as what we discussed, and literally just made $24,000 and withdrew using this exact system, using Jenny's golden strategy, using the exact management that I go over in class, every single one of those classes. And literally from there, he picked his couple of pairs, did all the things he said to do, and I think it was in 4.5 weeks, he made $24,000. So not a bad way to be. We've had a lot of other people use this strategy on the bigger time frames as well and have some success. So that's what we're going to be doing. Using the strategy. Of course, if you want the indices, you're going to have to go to the morning group because we can't do that on a 4-hour public YouTube. This is mostly going to be Forex. And because it's going to be Forex, I have to at least mention this. The ATR on Forex pairs, sorry, I'm just completely hammering it out. They won't be this long most of the time, but the ATR on the 4-hour time frame varies greatly. It can be like 20 pips all the way up to like 49 pips, 50 pips on most of the Forex pairs. And with that in mind, I don't want to just say 50 pips, which would be kind of my go-to. So I went ahead and said 25 pips if you're unfamiliar with ATR. If you know ATR, if you have even the ADR indicator on your, every broker has some version of it, but have any form of utilizing the ATR for average trading range, please consider using that instead. But essentially, you're going to either be taking profit, locking profit, applying a trail, scaling some of your profit, or making some decision at one ATR from the moment that these trades are called. Beyond that, you can, of course, let it run. You could apply your trailing stop. You can continue to hold. You've got all kinds of different methods that you can choose based off of the management you use. But that's kind of going to be our baseline. Our stop loss is always going to be a little bit tighter than usual, so I'm a little interested to see how this plays out, but it'll be a good time, at least if nothing else. Stop losses are going to be at the structure on the entry time frame, or one fractal back with a point ATR cushion. I know not everybody has access to the same tools that I'm using, but if you're trying to get an idea what that looks like, you're going to look at the fractal and then move it slightly above the peak, or slightly below the peak, respectively, if you're buying or selling. That would be enough. Is it exact? Not so much. But it definitely is going to give you a pretty solid baseline, at least to give you some kind of a cushion. I hyper believe in the cushion because I just think there's a lot of slippage and foolery in terms of springs and wiki stuff and just all over the market. So with that said, that's how we're going to be managing. Looking for a couple of trades, and then let's see how this plays out. The only goal of this is not to prove somebody's a better trader or this strategy is the best strategy in the world, or that's not the goal. The goal is to hopefully show people, hey, you can follow along with signals like this, with trade ideas like this in your demo account and watch your money grow. And you're like, holy cow, this is a lot easier than I thought it was. The only goal of this is to be able to look at a system like this and say, wait a minute, if we can fail at that by 90% and still make tons of profit, then not a bad way to be, right? Not bad at all. You don't have to be perfect. You just need to have a good system in place to be profitable. That's all. So without further ado, let's go take a look at what that looks like. I didn't put all the bells and whistles on the chart. I only put some of them on there because, of course, we have to keep some of that stuff proprietary behind in our membership group and all the other good stuff. But you're going to get a chance to see what I actually use in my morning classes, what we actually have used to make six and seven figures within ourselves, within passing prop firms, within the team, within others, making, I think, over $500,000, some people. Insane results, right? The exact system. Now, everybody might use it a little bit differently or use it as a confluence or an entry or blah, blah, blah. Some people use it on the bigger time frames. Most of us use it on the smaller time frames with the higher time frame confluence, but this is it. So let's go take a look at that chart. Okay, I have to point out one more thing, which is I'm typically not going to be recording at this time. For all of you guys who know, right now on the charts, we're literally like 3 seconds or 3 minutes more accurately away from session crossover, right? Today I'm going to record a little bit early because my son has a band concert and I'm super excited to go see him. But I digress. Just know that these videos are going to come a little bit later. I'll record them and my team will get them out to you on Tuesday nights. And then hopefully we'll either have a video like this or a content-related video every Tuesday night on a more regular basis. So as you can see, I don't have all the bells and whistles, just some of them, first and foremost. Secondly, I went ahead and marked up, gosh, I'm pretty excited about several pairs. Go figure. There are lots and lots of pairs in here. Again, I have to say, for those of you guys who are brand new, please don't over leverage per currency. So for example, if you're taking one USD trade, you probably shouldn't be taking 3 others. If you're taking one chef trade, please don't go take all the chef trades available. But these were just some of the ones I saw setting up again a little earlier in the evening than I would want to necessarily take these trades. And I would not take them prior to session crossover because I'd avoid the swap unless your broker is a non-swap broker, kind of like AAFX in my link tree. But let's take a look. USDCAD is the only one that's not set up. I'm not going to go over all the in and outs of the strategy. We're just going to use this the same way we use the arrows on the simplicity system. Now this, in and of itself, does have a whole strategy behind it, but I just kind of made it as naked as possible to kind of show you this is it. This is a custom indicator inside of our group. It gives you lot sizes and, of course, biases and warnings and the whole nine. It's kind of snazzy. I like it, obviously. I'm a little biased, though. First things first. So let's make sure I can see that. This one is not quite set up yet. We're in neutral territory. We don't have our arrow just yet, but I liked this for the buy. So remember, if our stop loss is going to go below the most recent fractal and we're going to have a consistent definition of that, this one's not yet painted, so unfortunately that's going to be right here. There will be one here by the time this candle closes. Actually, maybe not. Either way, it's not ready yet. We don't have it just yet, and the conditions aren't met just yet. So for those of you guys who know the strategy, by all means, keep an eye out. And then remember, you're protecting within about 1 ATR or 25 pips. We're lowballing it because there's too many in here that are worth 20 pips on an ATR for 4 hours. So this one's kind of one of those maybe situations. I'm going to turn this blue for discussion. I'm not calling that as a trade idea or marking it up or suggesting you buy it. I'm asking you to take a look at it and track it for a little while and say, wait, if I had bought this in my demo account, in my paper trading, would I have made money if I managed in this way? That's really all we're going for, over and over and over again. Next on our list is USDCHF. Ooh, this one's interesting. So first and foremost, I'm going to point out we've got our little JGS arrow, right? That's our little golden strategy arrow. That's it. I'm going to get my crosshairs, go take a look, drop this. Yeah, sorry for making you dizzy. Drop this right over the arrow. Ta-da. Maybe, if I can. We're getting the continuation right now, and we're kind of up into a little bit of room. And if I zoom out to make these candles pretty ugly, a couple things I'm going to note. Our slow EMA did not cross or touch kind of our fast EMA. But we do have quite a bit of a formation kind of happening, and we definitely have a lot of upside potential in terms of the US dollar strength and some other things going on. I like this as an entry. So all we're looking for is the continuation. So for those of you guys who love this strategy or trade this strategy with me, the thing I can tell you that's definitely going to be left out on these 4-hour calls is the continuation. Obviously, I am not going to be sitting here for 4 hours waiting for that verification. So as a social experiment, we're going to try this together. But I'm going to go ahead and mark that up. I've got my little magenta line. Actually, I should not have made that magenta. I knew that. I'm going to make it green. Make it solid. There's no sense in the pending. And there we go. So at this level, this is where I'm looking. And I'm going to take all of these trades in another account, and I'm going to be risking 3% on each one of these trades. 3%. Now, granted, I'm going to have a fancy management system that's going to help me scale a bigger portion of this trade. And hopefully, ideally, that's usually how it works at least. But you're going to do this. This is it. Over and over again. If you're taking a buy on USDCHF, I know different system, different everything. It might be a little bit of a lot, but this is all we're doing. We're taking a buy based off of these conditions. I'm not going to, again, go into the whole details of the golden strategy. It's very, very simple. Here's what we're doing. Our stop loss is going to go at the fractal plus about a 0.25 cushion. What that will look like for you is just literally if this is your low, you're taking it beyond the peak. Just enough. And actually, I will write that in that spreadsheet too, just so we have it defined in advance. And there's no subjectivity. There's no, well, kind of, maybe, I kind of thought. No, it's all defined. And then there's no, well, how come I couldn't get it to work? You can get this exact thing to work too. But all you're doing is you're protecting within about 1 ATR. In this case, it's 28 pips. So 28 pips from where we're currently at is not that much. That's about 29. I know that big circle's in the way, but 29 pips, give or take, right? That's all that is. And I'm looking for this to go pretty far beyond that point. That's 132 to give you an idea. So once you hit your 1 ATR, or 25 pips if you don't have access to ATR, you're doing one of several things. A, locking your profit, which just means moving your stop loss into profit. B, applying a trailing stop. It just means you're right-clicking on your trade, having a set number. I'd probably do about half of the ATR in terms of pips and just letting that whole trade run all the way up. C, if you have a larger lot size, you can scale out. So for example, if you have a 1 standard lot and you reach that 1 ATR, cool. Scale out of 50% of your position and let the rest run. Or of course, D, you can close it in profit and just go on with your day. Any of those are totally fine. Totally fine. But you're going to make a decision at that point. And the idea is if I can get enough of you guys to do this with me, and by all means, go to the chat on YouTube, tell me how it's going, tell me how many pips you got on each one of these trades. Tell me. Please, because I want to see you guys have this level of success. But that's trade number 1. So this, we're going to make purple. Now we're making that blue, because blue is usually my trade color. Purple is usually discussion. Let me do better. So we've got one trade idea. And for some reason, it did not hold my vertical line. Let's get that back up there. So right here, that's all we're doing. Is USDCHF, one trade. We discussed this, but no trade idea. And I have no idea why that's not. Oh, I do know now. I'll have to figure that out. But there we go. I'll have a vertical line up where we were looking, and then we'll review this in a week or two. Next on our list is AUDCHF. Notice how that's 2, not 1, but 2 different chef pairs. This one I don't like as much, but I wanted to bring it up for at least discussion because, again, We've got our sell arrow, right? So let's take a look. We've got our sell arrow. We're below the 50 moving average. And we've got our continuation. So is this good for at least 20 pips? That's the ATR on this. That's only 23. And then into this range is 60. If I can move that blue circle out of my way. It's 23, 60 pips. That's not bad. 20 to 60 pips is not a bad way to be. Figure your risk on this. You'd still be at a 1, maybe a little bit better than a 1-to-1 best case scenario. Either way, if we zoom all the way out, we've got a little bit more room than that. So we're still in a downtrend. There you go. So I'm going to keep this as purple for discussion, but I wanted to point it out and say, hey, go take a look at this on your demo account. So let's see what you see. Let's see if these are going to work out for you. And just to give you an idea of what this is going to look like on a bi-weekly basis or weekly. We'll see how long these trades take to play out. EURJPY is next. This has a what? We've got a buy arrow saying that all the conditions are met. The price is above the 50 moving average. The MACD is in agreement. You've got your slower MACD. That's, of course, for anybody who knows that. Those are just your slightly bigger than these moving averages. That's all in agreement. So we've got our impulse. That means we've got our continuation from where these painted. And now we're sitting at a perfect area because now we've got the confirmation. And, of course, we've got a good entry. So all I'm doing is taking my little line. I'm going to enter each and every one of these trades the second I leave this office to go to the concert. So all of these trades I'm going to be in right alongside of it with you. As you can see, the spread is going to open up. So I'm going to wait till about at least 5-10 minutes after this session crossover before I enter this personally. But there you go. That's going to be our next one. You can hardly see it in between those two areas, but you get the idea. No, that's just the spread. So we're going to make this blue. We've got 2 trades on the table. Next one is GBPCHF. Again, that spread is opening up quite a bit because this is session crossover. That's the reason I don't typically make videos at this time. But same thing that we saw in AUDCHF, we've got some potential move to the downside. We've got our golden strategy that's saying it's a sell. We've got our continuation, and we've got room to our next level. Risk and reward is not bad. Spread right now is horrible. Horrible. That's just session crossover. So it's 70-ish pips. The most recent fractal is only 45. It's about a 2-to-1. It's about a 2-to-1. And you're protecting within 25 pips because that's the ATR on this, but also 25 pips is the minimum anyways. So that's not a bad trade. Again, we're going to keep it as discussion and just come back to here and see if this plays out. See how these plays out. And then ideally, within a few months, we're going to have a few people be able to come and say, hey, wait, I follow these exact trades. This is exactly what I did in my demo account. I follow these exact trades, and this is exactly what I did. Hopefully, if you have some experience in your live account. And I would love to get the chance to honor you and feature you and kind of go over everything that you're able to accomplish with this, but we'll see how all that stuff plays out. So, EURAUD, I waited for this. This one just literally painted here now. So let's take a look. Here's where we're at. Ta-da. We don't have our continuation. It's going to be the one part of the golden strategy that I really stick to in terms of the smaller time frame, but it's going to be the one part on the 4-hour that I don't really track as well and don't really follow suit because, well, I'm not going to sit for 4 hours and most other people aren't either. But we've got our buy. We're sitting above the 50 as we speak. We've got a nice little wick to the upside. Well, yep, wick to the upside. So same thing. EURAUD, EURJPY. This is going to be the 3rd trade. So 3 buys in total, putting that right where we're at. As soon as the spread knocks down, I'm going to enter all 3 of these trades. Then the rest of them will have been for discussion only, just to give you an idea of how this will play out. That's 1 is USDCHF for the buy. EURJPY for the buy. EURAUD for the buy. Dismiss that red line there. And of course, I want to at least show this real quick. I think this is something to put on your watch list. This is IOTA. I don't trade this as much, mostly because the fees on most of the brokers that I've seen are outrageous. But for those of you guys who are trading crypto on the exchanges and have access to different things, it might not be a bad idea to go take a look. Otherwise, I'm out on this, but definitely was worth the analysis to say, this is all we're going to be doing. It is not complex. It's good management and good rules, and that's it. So here's our golden strategy arrow, saying that all the conditions are met. We don't yet have the continuation, but for those of you guys who are on other exchanges or buying or holding, I think a lot of the cryptos have some downward potential, but for the short term, looking for that little bit of a bump. The ATR on this is only 29 pips, so can you get 29 pips out of it? I think you can before it reverses back down, but we'll see. That's only 100. That's, maybe not. That's not enough. not a lot of room. I think this might be a little bit off on some of the cryptos and the wider pairs. Hold on, let's see. 29. Now I'm curious. 16-ish pips. Now that's kind of a bit of an ask, but I definitely think you've got at least this much room. So we'll see. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 different discussions. Hopefully you'll go take a look and just track those for your own eyes. And we've got 3 of our first trades on the table. All I'm going to be doing is this about every week or every 2 weeks to show you what's possible. Trading isn't just YouTube worthy, binge worthy, pick another strategy, show another Lamborghini. It's means to a financial end. It's a way to buy back your freedom. It's a way to buy back your time. That's what trading is. It's a way to increase your overall capital and compound the money that you do have way more effectively than most of your IRAs and all the money that you have sitting in the bank. So with that said, I hope that this video is helpful. If you have any questions, comments, and what have you, please put them in the chat. And otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful, awesome Tuesday, and I'll be back again next Tuesday. Thanks so much for watching, and God bless.